President Trump is expected to sign at this hour an executive order taking the U.S. out of the Trans-Pacific Partnership trade deal. Now, the Trans-Pacific Partnership, or TPP, is a trade agreement between 12 countries, highlighted there for you in yellow: the U.S., Japan, Vietnam, Malaysia, Singapore, Brunei, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, Mexico, Peru and Chile. Now, together, they account for 40% of the global economy and a combined population of about 800 million people. The deal would expand trade between the TPP partners by cutting tariffs and taxes on imports. Notably absent from the deal is China, the world's second largest economy. The treaty was agreed upon after years of negotiations, but it is waiting to be ratified to go into effect. And by the way, the US is a huge trade partner for the 12 countries. The US ships almost $2 billion in goods to TPP countries every single day. Now, senior White House correspondent Jeff Zeleny joins us to discuss this a little further. This is not going to be an easy feat. The fact that the Trump administration wants to withdraw both from the TPP and renegotiate the NAFTA.
No question about it, Linda, but the withdrawal from the TPP was really a central campaign theme of the president's, and it is something that has bipartisan support here in the United States. A lot of Democrats were opposed to this as well. Hillary Clinton, even if you'll remember, she supported it as Secretary of State, but then opposed it while she was campaigning. So this is something that is certainly expected. It is the first executive order that we believe the president will sign, really coming up in a matter of moments here at the White House. And this is something that is really essentially back to the drawing board here in terms of negotiating this type of agreement. But if the U.S. pulls out, of course, it's sort of like, a stack of dominoes. It may cause all of them to crumble here, and really back at the beginning of negotiating any type of trade pact. The problem has not gone away, but the solution here will not be in the way of TPP.
Right. Well, of course, the Japanese Prime Minister already said without the US, the TPP has different meaning. Could they potentially stall bringing it into effect until the next administration, or is it worthless without the US?
It's hard to imagine that it certainly is not the same without the U.S. And again, it was never ratified because this a lot of opposition to this in Congress as well. And this is one of those things that that cuts across different party lines. It had some Republican support, had some Democratic support, but really it became, as this populist outcry here in this presidential campaign last year, and indeed around the world, rose up, it became much more controversial. So it's hard to imagine you could wait until the next administration. That's some 4 years from now, obviously, but there is more likely going to be a different type of agreement discussed, or perhaps nothing at all on the TPP as it stands right now. But it is going to be one of the first executive orders signed again within moments here at the White House.
And Jeff, of course, the first weekend for this new president was pretty tough. Mass protests right across the world. And before the inauguration, his poll numbers suggested he was losing support. Is he up to the job of uniting the country?
Sure, he has had a rocky transition period, no question. And the first couple days here at the White House have been a little slightly rocky as well. Not necessarily unusual. It is a big task, of course, to get a government and administration up and running. But the unity question is very much an open one. Will he be able to unify and bring people together? I mean, he could hear the protests and the crowds shouting right here at the White House. That's one of the interesting things about the White House. So it's right in the middle of the city. He could hear those protests, but he is, certainly going to try reaching out. He's having a meeting tonight here at the White House with Democratic and Republican leaders, and he met with business leaders this morning. That's his burden, to try and unify the country. Open question to know if he can actually do it.
All right, Jeff Zeleny, as always, great to have you with us. Thank you.